Hello. In a change to our scheduled episode, I want to actually talk about being kind to yourself and realising your worth. Let's get into it. So, as I said, change of the scheduled episode. It was going to be a competition between Jamie and Charlotte. That will come soon because that needs to be edited a little bit better than I could do in iMovie on my iPad. So I want to do kind of this unscheduled episode about really kind of being kind to yourself and how I think it's very easy not to be. And something I've realised this week, literally on Thursday, something that I perhaps haven't been doing, and it's had quite a remarkable effect, a detrimental effect on me perhaps over the years. So it's being kind to yourself, I think, and realising your not so much your worth, but your skills and knowledge and things like that. So for me, the realisation came from throughout my life. I think I've always sort of felt that I've just kind of fallen into situations, jobs and things like that, and never really in many ways felt that I sort of tried hard. I sort of did things and I thought, oh, maybe the right place at the right time, all Gucci. And because of that, I sort of almost like sort of labelled myself as sort of, okay, I don't have sort of skills or talents or something. I didn't go to university, don't have a degree, so therefore I've literally just fallen in on good luck, good fortune into these situations. And what also came with that is the sort of, if I was ever and have ever taught someone something, if they can't get it or understand it fast or quickly, I'd always get frustrated because I'd feel, well, I can learn it, I've learnt it, I'm nothing special. So if I can learn it, why can't they? Thinking it must be really easy. And so that frustration, it's not really fair, but I've had that along with the, I must have just sort of coasted through. And it's only recently I realised that probably the reason why I did coast through and things were easy is because I had some degree of skill and talent in that particular area, and therefore it seemed easy. So when it comes to then teaching people things, maybe I do have the skill and talent to do those things, and maybe these other people don't, so they find it a bit more difficult than me. And I never realised that because I had this kind of negative or perhaps bad view of myself, which is ridiculous really, but it kind of goes along with something I was saying yesterday about the whole thing about having that confidence and projecting that is almost sort of frowned upon and shunned because it's a very fine line between confidence and a huge ego and being arrogant. And so I think particularly from a British perspective, we want to be kind of, pull that back and be quite reserved. So that, on top of the fact that I didn't realise any sort of skill or worth I had, all comes together into this kind of package whereby ultimately I had and to a still degree have that feeling of, I'm not enough. And this is something that I've come to sort of, that concept is something that I've come to sort of know from meditations and meetings with a friend, Brian Finale, who's kind of always sort of said, we as humans, you are enough, and kind of don't hold yourself back because you're feeling that you don't have that kind of skill or whatever it is. And so it's quite interesting when I literally it was on Thursday afternoon, just come to this realisation that it was like, wow, actually, and suddenly almost like sort of light bulbs were going off, and it was like, wow, that's quite, and it was just amazing, and it was such a sort of a real massive light bulb moment and realisation, and so many things that made sense that of what have happened in my life, and many things, and good and bad. And so it was like, now I'm sort of in the process since then of kind of, I suppose, processing that and working out how to really, I suppose, process it, to be honest. I still don't know quite how to kind of act upon that, but that realisation has just answered so many questions, and it's a huge sort of breakthrough. And I think in work today, it was, those of you who were there would probably notice I was a bit more bouncy than perhaps normal, and some of that is down to that realisation that suddenly sort of lots of clouds have lifted. They're not completely gone, but things are making sense. So I wanted to share that today because I think it's important to sort of step back and realize sometimes that what we perhaps take for granted in our own life, and that's easy for us, it's possibly easy and likely easy because you have a skill or talent for that particular thing, and therefore it's easy. And I've always said flying a plane is easy when you know how, brain surgery is easy when you know how. So if you find something particularly easy, it's likely you have a skill or a talent or some natural aptitude to that thing. It's not necessarily because it is easy and you don't have any skill. And it's sometimes hard to admit to yourself that you have a skill or a talent or an aptitude towards something, particularly if it's not a formal training. Like if you've gone to university, you've got a degree, you've done an exam or done particular training to learn something, then you can, it's more of a tangible thing. But if it's sort of a natural ability or a way of understanding things, it's harder to then sort of realize that you have that. And it's because it's also battling, I suppose, with your own ego, going, no, I want to play that down. So just think about, if you find things particularly easy and you sort of but you feel that you're not sort of skilled or something like that, then just sort of step back and just think, well, I'm good at that, I find that easy, I find that easy. It's probably because you do have a skill or natural talent or aptitude, whatever. So I just wanted to share that because I think it's quite an important point, and I'll probably go into in more detail in another video. But yeah, it's been such a realization for me and such a breakthrough. I just wanted to share that. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you did like this and get some video, don't forget, smash that like button till it's nice and blue. I'd love you to subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate every single one of you who have, and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm releasing a new video. But for now, I will see you guys tomorrow, and I'm not sure which day, but either tomorrow or Sunday there will be my response video to the Pretty Witch's English accent. It will be my Canadian accent video with some ensuing hilarity. It's going to be interesting, but I'm looking forward to it very much. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.